odd one.
Listen, I've watched this show. I can't be more handicapped because I'm retarded for watching this show.
Oh, it's loyal, and then
Maybe.
this happens.
No,
Why did you get a wig from the reject shop, you fucking idiot? Like that would have cost you $2, you fucking what? What is it for sake? Just get a fucking proper head on the and some ears, like proper ears, like a twitchy fucking ears, and some kind of like droopy eyebrows. Like it's not that hard. Like you've got the actor, just get it right. You fucking Jesus.
Rand's road of trials on his hero's journey was dealing with a drugged-up best friend and a mid-looking black chick trying to sleep with him and then stealing his stuff and trying to stab him when he refused.
Yeah.
That's not epic fantasy. That's like a Tuesday night out in Atlanta. Like, how is this like an epic fantasy story? This is ridiculous.
Rand lifts up Egwene again, carrying her across the room as they kiss. He lays her down on the sheepskin rug in front of the dwindling fire, puts his body on top of hers. He pulls back from their kiss, and their faces are just inches apart now, the fire casting soft light on them. You know, my dad said I used to pick you baskets of berries to bring you when I was a kid, like some lovesick puppy. Sounds sweet to me. Rand pulls a small raspberry from his pocket with a roguish smile. He runs it down her nose and drops it sensually between her lips.
No. In Edmund's Field, women like absolutely dominated the entire social strata of like relationships and domestic life. By making it like this weird hookup culture, they actually made the women less powerful than they were in the book.
Flicker, 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 flicker. I have won again, Luz Theron.
All right, everybody here, you guys know the drill. We're being timely, not good. If you want to see good, you go look at Alex's review for the last episode that just posted an hour ago or so. That's where we put the effort in. The minimal effort is today. Alex, thank you so much for joining me, being able to handle chat and handle my rambling. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well, you?
I have the Golden Dragon and a Golden Dragon glass, and I'm going to get started.
Sweet.
I deserve it after today, I think, because not only did I do a shit ton of reviewing and I wouldn't say thinking about it. I'm going to give our Discord most of the thoughts about that. Thanks, Nerdporial. I'm seeing a super chat already. This is just going nuts. We're going to get so rich, going to buy so many books for kids to put in libraries in Iowa. Maybe elsewhere one day. But the analytics, I provided some Alex with some analytics. I put some on the Discord. I updated it. Alex, you and Steve will probably go on his stream about that. Totally fine. We'll just get a tease of that at the very end. But episode 6 dropped at like midnight last night, 2 a.m. for some, 3 a.m. for some. It wasn't that much better, but I'll say this: every episode except for the Paths of Ruidian episode, I think was between a 0 and a 2. I think this one is at a 2. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Don't fight me yet on this.
Okay,
but
finish your thought.
If everything kind of is like between a 0 and a 2 all the way through, with the one exception that was 5 times better than average, I think this one is probably the second best episode of the season. And a lot of it has to do with I don't mind Elaine's actress and how she can sing.
No, she can't sing. The person that they dubbed over her can sing.
You might be right about it. But
If you rewatch the episode, you can tell immediately.
maybe she was in a studio with like sound. Okay, maybe, but okay. Well, whatever. Well, without further ado, otherwise we'll be here forever. I'm going to stick up my slideshow, and just to be sure that, okay, I'm going to try our settings. Yeah, let's go with the standard style settings. I don't need to make the thing bigger, and who knows. But all right, let's open up on this stupid fucking episode. It's young Liandrin, which is, kind of what I always wanted to see. It said it's 95 years ago, so yep, it was a super old sun. I think we heard 90 and 100 in the previous, so let's go down the middle. It was 95. Liandrin is obviously a product of her environment. She wasn't inherently evil. We all knew that. And then it's totally cool that she just murders her abuser. That's, I guess. Go ahead.
I loved that like they didn't even leave it up for interpretation. Nynaeve just straight up says it's the city that made her like this.
That's later. If you were an idiot and didn't see it, because this old dude comes in and says that the baby looks like a whore already, even though it's a dude, and then is going to drown the baby. So like, obvious villain, like even as much a villain as Morghese was, because she slaughtered all the people in her throne room earlier. But if you had any equivocation that he was a villain, like I think it's done. Anyways, she force blast murders him with like a Rand style direct dart, and then she stomps on her head and escapes. And then no one is nice to her except this guy. So why wouldn't you turn to the dark side if like the nicest person you've ever met is, the literal devil? So great. Good work, show. Good stuff.
It is extremely important that women have agency at all times, except when they make bad choices. And they're manipulated into making those bad choices. The rules for this show kill me.
You're diving deeper than I even bother with this show, because obviously I've been drinking. All right, so now we got her modern day daydream. Modern day daydream. Okay. She's in the tower, and Liandrin is talking to Lanfear. I remember kind of these shots from the stills, and I don't think anyone had on the bingo card that the red-clad lady on the Amerlin seat was Liandrin in her own fucking fantasy, but that's what it was.
Right. Tough to pick.
Tough to pick. You were right that, Liandrin would be, well, sorry, no. You were right that Lanfear was the advisor and not Alviarin, because the white and red contrast kind of just screamed that, and it's these two chuckle fucks. Okay, so Lanfear doesn't know what Liandrin is up to. That seems to be the case. But she's upset that Ravine has a spy amongst her cabal.
No, she doesn't know that. She assumes that with nothing to go on, and orders Liandrin to kill the spy that she doesn't know exists but thinks probably does.
Right, because right after this she says, "I thought the spy would be you, but it's apparently not." So
Correct.
Lanfear gives Liandrin the task to find out who the spy is and kill them, but she doesn't seem to give a shit about Liandrin's plan otherwise.
Nope.
And you would think, like, given the plan is we're going to put a collar on Rand and control him, Lanfear might have an issue with that. But okay, no, it's fine. So
I just want to say, John Thomas, yeah, they had Morghese slaughter everyone in her throne room. I believe that was episode 3.
2.
Episode 2. Okay. If when you're done watching this stream, we
highly advise not to watch that. But
the video episode review that we have on this channel covers it pretty good, I think. And then of course, welcome to we got Amber here, so good to have you.
Okay. So Liandrin lays out the whole plan for the audience, and this is only in case you're too stupid to tune in to the last season or read the books or watch the previous episodes. So again, we're here to find a collar with 2 women, 1 man, like that's what we want. We've only got the 1 collar, so they establish we're looking for 2 things. We're looking for another bracelet and we're looking for the collar. Okay, great. Cool. Now we cut to the Supergirls doing super things. They're running through the character descriptions of the people they are looking for. And Elaine kind of lists it off, white streak in her hair, yada, yada. And Nynaeve says, oh, wait, that's Ispan. But no, it's Jaini Cade. And I was like, wait a second, what? When did she have a fucking white streak in her hair?
So...
Because she didn't have one in this episode that we like got introduced to her. I don't see it. I don't see it. White streak in her hair. The bigger thing that I have an issue with is like, how do you confuse Ispan with a white chick? Because Ispan's black and Jeannie Cade is not. So yeah, okay. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Alex, and just say, if you wanted to describe the Black Aja as established in the show so far, and tell me if you, let's do a test right now between you and me. I'm going to list off the 5 of them, and you're going to tell me their names back. Okay, you ready? The blonde one, the short one, the Asian one, the black one, and the good-looking one.
The blonde one, the short one, the Asian one, the black one, and the good-looking one.
Who are they?
That's what I call them. I have no idea what their names are.
Okay, great. All right. Now, okay, I know it's Liandrin, it's Naomi or Tiny Sedai.
I had those 2.
Yeah,
Hottie Sedai is Genie, and I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck about the other.
No. Bowtie Sedai is Chestnut Emery. Genie is the hot one, so she's the good-looking one. The black one is Ispan, which you could have figured out by like process of elimination. But yeah, okay. When they were 13 and they were all like old ladies and they had weird traits and they came from everywhere, them studying their differences kind of would have made sense in the books. Here, just it doesn't. It's dumb. It doesn't. Okay. So Matt comes in with Min and they tell Nynaeve that she's dressed like a whore. Okay, cool. You got too many beads. Dressed like a whore. Their plan is to find the Black Aja and they decide to go out drinking at night, which is their best plan, and they leave during the day. Cool. All right, let's cut to Egwene. She's confronted by the Wise Ones for being a lying bitch and wondering how she can even lie. That's what this scene is. Egwene says, well, I lied about being an Aes Sedai, but that's not important. Well done, show. That's okay. Move on.
I love that, like, one of the... Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, the important thing is that Egwene needs to be free of Lanfear in her dreams, and Bear and Moraine just go with it.
Yes, which is like one of the last good thing Egwene does is accept her punishment. Now, it's a little bit like sociopathic from a character standpoint because she realizes like, wait, I can do bad things so long as I'm willing to accept the punishment for them. But like, this is like the last time that she has a moment of reflection that I did a bad thing. So
in the whole series,
it is kind of rough.
But we can't have that in this show. So, anyways, let's move on because it gets worse. We get Moraine meeting with Lanfear again. In her dream, right? So, Moraine, we get the sense that she's finally suspicious about Lanfear after being slaughtered by her at least 500,000 times based on the math that the show has done. So apparently Moraine's job is to keep Egwene away from Rand, which would be easily done if Moraine just revealed to Egwene that Rand had been dream banging Lanfear for months, which and actually because Moraine knows that's the case, right?
Yeah, Moraine knows that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, Wise Day, hope of cancellation may be at hand. Jennifer Sulke has been fired from Amazon. She was responsible for a lot of Prime's horrors. You're 100% right. She's gone. However, this has been on the chopping block as soon as they didn't get a renewal after season 2. This is dead.
Yeah.
So
it's a foregone conclusion.
Yep. And then Eden Reeves, good to see you. I'm not sure I've seen you before. It's a sick ass profile picture. Yeah, the What Up guy is begging folks to rewatch season 3 to boost the ratings, which is hysterical, as though Amazon doesn't have the ability to tell, like, you know, who's watching their shit, and they don't know duplicates.
I watched this episode 4 times in one day.
I really hope you OBS'd it and didn't give them 4 watches.
I don't care at this point. If it does get renewed on the basis of me, then okay, whatever. I got more to make fun of.
There you go.
At this point, I'm also kind of wondering. So Egwene knows that Lanfear is dream banging Rand at this point, because we got that in the last episode.
We also got it in episode 1.
Yeah, but we also had a scene with Egwene where she's studying, more about being a dreamer. Why isn't she confronting Rand yet?
Who?
Egwene.
Because exciting things happen at the end of the episode, so that you watch longer.
Yeah. So that's why. So everything about what would her action be based off the cliffhanger CW ending of the last episode would be Egwene needs to go confront Rand first thing, but no, she's got other stuff to do. So whatever. And anyways, that was just in the middle of me watching this scene. Anyways, Moraine apparently isn't good at her job. Lanfear thinks it's Moraine failing intentionally so that she could keep her job. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's not how jobs work. Sure, whatever. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. This is dumb.
It is absolutely wild that she tells Moraine, hey, don't do anything. I'm about to launch another attack at Rand.
And she goes with it.
Like
after being slaughtered by her for 500,000 times. And I can't trust this person, obviously, but all right,
and as though the catastrophe of the false flag in the first episode didn't happen.
No, it's, you know what, 500,001 warnings weren't enough, but whatever. All right, so Avienda takes Rand to the vegetable garden. Just what I always wanted to see.
Right. Alexander Nurendin makes an excellent point. Apparently Moraine has a union gig.
I did not appreciate that. That's probably true. Okay, but anyways, this scene, Rand touches a little girl's stick and therefore has to kneel to her. That, obvious. I'm just thinking with all this, what they're doing here with Giotto, it's Uncanny Valley again. It's like they're trying, but it's just wrong. Like Rand saying, "You have my toe." It's like, no, only you know your own toe and what it takes to kind of meet your obligation. You don't give it to other people, but whatever. They're trying. They're trying at least, but it's just, oh God, I don't like it.
There goes the ghost. Yeah, you're 100% right. Faile does look like a dog here. It's not good. But as far as the previous one goes, all I could think as I was watching that was like, aren't there some clan chiefs Rand is supposed to be meeting? Like, is Rand really going to go this entire season having talked to 5 Aiel and only 1 male Aiel?
Yeah, no, Ruark's granddaughter has more lines than Ruark.
Yes, and there are no other clan chiefs. It's
Not
wild.
Yet. Not yet. All right, so we're back in the Two Rivers. Yay! Perrin is hurt. They need to get Alanna, but Alana's hurt. And then Faile says, "Don't worry, he'll be fine." And then flips around and says, "Go find Alanna. We need her now." So that's what happens. But Alanna is upstairs and wounded, and Maxipad is being sad. He gets plenty of screen time, and he's showing his range, his tears and whatnot. And then before this whole thing is over, Padden Fane shows up. He's got a lot of white hair now, so he's aged, even though it's been 8 months in the show. Whatever.
Has it been 8 months in the show? According to the last episode, it's been several years.
It's been 8 to 11 months. It depends how long these frickin' seasons last for, but the interludes, yeah, 8 to 11 months. It's been within a year, and this guy has basically gone completely white. All right, great. Elaine is being a bar star. So, yeah. She's putting all her studies to good use. Matt is seducing a man with his hot dress. Excellent.
Real quick, Dane. John Thomas, $10 super chat says, so if you pretend there is zero connection to the books, is there any redeeming qualities in the show? JJ Trek 09 was okay sci-fi, but horrid Trek. Bookborn claims to enjoy some aspects. Okay, here's the best way I can think of it is the moments in the book that are so great that it's really impossible to completely ruin them. Those moments have been reduced down to being like, okay, that's fine. But like only the highest of high tier stuff is remotely passable as in the show. The rest of it that's not those things, like this picture right here really encapsulates what is not the highlights from the books. From Matt in a dress getting eyeballed by fucking weirdos is a lot of what you're getting here. I hope that answers your question.
Perfect. All right. So Matt is in his dress. Apparently he's been a naughty boy.
Hey, Salty. Good to see you, man.
Naughty boy. But then Matt hears a song he's never heard before, but it's sung by the worst singer in the history of this whole continent. So he recognizes it. Oh, sorry. This is when he's pointing at his neck like, yes, chain me up, my admirer. But he goes out to the street or whatever, and he finds Tom Maryland wearing Matt's hat. The dialogue is clunky, but I'm beginning to suspect, after watching this far too many times, I think they're setting up Asmo Tom. I think this is Asmodean pretending to be Tom. Tom died from the Fade. Asmodean somehow knows memories or whatever to connect, but he's being dumb enough and saying things wrong enough later on in the episode that he could be Asmo Tom.
No, Samael is Asmodean.
No.
Yeah.
Samael is taking Asmodean's role in the books as far as the Waste plot line, but as far as the Forsaken established by the show who have been named, there's one missing one. And of the ones that could still be revealed, we look at the little statuettes that Stefan had, and one of those had a musical instrument. So the theory is that it's Tom. The theory is that it's Tom. So Tom is going to reveal to be Asmodean. And to people being like, well, wait a second, wasn't Lanfear the second one who was let out? We go, yes. So if Tom was released when Ishamael let them all out at the end of season 2, how the heck does he know what he knows? Well, there's some discrepancies here. Like he might have known Tom's soul or got the debrief because of Dain of the Dark. Or maybe they just don't fucking care. Maybe there was a tiny little crack in Tom's seal the whole time, and Asmodean was free and hanging out with the dragon in season 1. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I think I'm with Mule here. Why would Asmo pretend to be some random gleeman who's not related to anything of any plot importance? That doesn't make sense, which I guess makes it more likely.
But at the same time, that's kind of what he was in the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever. Just a thought here. Tom's dialogue coming up. It's dumb and it's stupid, but it might be on purpose because we really can't tell with these show writers. Is basically either it's dumb or it's dumb because they're doing it on purpose. Okay, so while Elaine is being a bar star and Matt is whoring himself out, Min and Nynaeve are at a different bar, and it's a dive. So everybody's plan is apparently just to go out and start drinking. I can appreciate that. Sounds like a good plan to me. But anyways, let's drink and be conspicuous. Then Min has a vision after complaining about not having visions, and her vision is literally to set up this guy to be murdered. Yay.
I
This is-
love that they managed to find Liandrin's location twice without getting off their bar stool.
I'm getting
That
to
is
that.
wild.
I'm getting to that. So, anyways, Min sees this guy and tells him kind of openly that she's a seer, and man, you are gonna bang that hot ass. You're gonna get married to this hot ass chick with the white stripe in her hair, which she didn't have in previous episodes, and whatever. Nobody fucking knows that she had a white stripe in her hair at the start of this episode. Great. Okay. But you're going to go get married to her. And he's like, really? I only see her near the center of town, near the Lunat place. Clue number 1.
It's even wilder than that. He actually says, I think she's doing work at the Lunat house. Like
the Lunat house. Clue number 1. Let's follow that raging clue. All right. So aside from the fact that Min's announcing to the world that she's a seer, and Liandrin knows that Min is a seer, and saying to everyone that I'm a seer could potentially get back to Liandrin, who knows that Min the seer is someone that she knows, and it's the dumbest thing she could possibly do. She says, go tell your friends, tell them I'm here so I can make more money, or whatever. And, oh, why don't you also go, like, try and hook up with a haughty Sedai because she'll kill you, but she'll also kind of wonder who told you. But anyways, it's fucking terrible. But let's wait for the second clue. All right, now we're back with Tiny Sedai. It's a bit of a filler scene, which is unfortunate because I really like Tiny Sedai, as you guys know. They talk about having to find the collar and the bracelet. That was earlier, but they've apparently been home all day. So the urgency is just, it drips off the screen. And then we get Moghedien being weird and gross.
So go back to the Tiny Sedai thing real quick.
All right, sure.
I am convinced that this is an out of order scene because Liandrin starts asking her questions about, like, could you delete somebody's memory, like, more efficiently, more significantly, more whatever. And the only thing I can think is, like, Liandrin in some version of this had a conversation with Nynaeve or Elaine, realized what had happened, and then that's what caused her to ask Tiny Sedai. That's because this entire sequence it makes no sense.
I don't know. Maybe there was more Liandrin stuff that got cut from earlier, but I could only applaud that if that was the case. So,
right, good decision to get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay. This is Moghedien with doing the veil huffing that Elaine does in the actual books. So I like that Elaine does it. I don't like Moghedien doing it because immediately after this, she sniffs and rips panties and decides to puke in people's food, which is like, why? Like, if you, yeah.
Got another $5 Nerdporial super chat. Thank you, Brian. You're too generous. Yes, did he just effing kill Samael? What the hell is even this? The dead little girl? What the F? I'm still reading A Crown of Swords. Yeah, this is no, he did not kill Samael. He apparently knocked Samael unconscious. Who knows?
We'll see.
God only knows. Even worse,
Nobody knows.
We're not finding out next episode either because that's all Perrin.
Everybody gets resurrected in this episode except if, or any episode of this show, except if Rand tries to heal it. So, anyways.
Yep. And Amber makes the correct point. There are definitely scenes cut and out of order.
You're so wise, Amber and Alex. All right. So we get back to Egwene learning how to dream. This conveniently ends on the sex wheel. So good, you're making use of that prop for the second time. And Egwene gets saved by the bell. But before she does, too far, Lanfear tells Egwene that Rand knows everything. And again, I'm left wondering, Egwene, why are you here? Why aren't you confronting Rand yet? And as you said earlier, Alex, you got to wait for the end of the episode, obviously. You can't do that up front. Makes no fucking sense. All right. So now Rand and Moraine talk, and the dialogue is incredible because Moraine is able to reply sometimes to 3 different questions. Okay, that's great. That's great. Rand reveals that he knows about the Sarkinen, and I just have to go into this because Moraine asks Rand how to channel, which is first and foremost just wild for me, but keep in mind where I'm going with this. So this conversation is the first time that Saidin and Saidar are mentioned like in the same breath. But where I honestly think the show is going and where they might have been from the outset or whatnot is that it's one source, but there's a male way to access it and there's a female way to access it. So we know from the books, and I have it listed up here, that men have Saidin, they seize the power, they wrestle for control with it. It's a raging torrent. They're generally stronger, but their weaves are simpler. And the way they kind of go to it is this flame in the void of being emotionally distant and then being able to kind of seize it all in like a moment of clarity. Whereas women have Saidar, they embrace the power, they surrender to it. They're guiding the flows. The flows are more intricate. They can do multiple flows. And their way to embrace the source is the rosebud. We're going to open up and let the light in. Everything the show has basically said about the power in this point, about saying there are multiple ways to channel. And Nynaeve has heard this. She heard it from the Seafolk Wave Mistress. She heard it from Liandrin in season 1 with her anger and whatnot. I'm beginning to think that the show is basically going to say there's a male typical way and a female typical way to access the same fucking power. We call it different things. But if you choose the male way to do it and aren't a dark friend, you will get the taint on you. And this type of retcon makes everything make sense because the only people we've seen that are women that seize or take the true source in a non-female typical way are dark friends, like Liandrin, or men who basically sworn themselves to the shadow and therefore don't experience the taint. I think this is where they're going because at the end of the day, this foots with their reality, which is it's one source. There's just one way of accessing it over here that is men. There's one way of accessing it that is women, and you have the choice of how to do it.
I could see this because I know people hate this. The the people that like this show absolutely despise this dichotomy. So I could see it, and I could see this being the finale, just as kind of one final fuck you.
This is me rationalizing it after the fact, but they didn't want to go here earlier on in the series, and they said like it's all one power. They've been so resistant to saying Saidin and Saidar for so long. Now we finally get it in one sentence, and you've got Rand correcting Moraine for some reason about how it works. But everything that they've done, as far as I can remember, because drinking. This is how I think the mechanic is.
So the only thing that I will say about this that I'm not sure I buy is I think this might be the most accurate season to the book so far. And this would be a weird pivot. And Amber brings up the point. So what was Lanfear discovering back in the spaceship sphere? My response is going to be that happened several episodes ago.
Communism. That
happened several episodes ago. Completely irrelevant to what's happening now. But no, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this.
You know what? Maybe it's just like the Avienda's air spears coming up later that we're just like, what? Whatever. It was just shittily executed. Maybe that's all what this is. Okay. Anyways, we're back to Moraine and Rand yakking about things. So okay, I'm just checking my notes where we're at. Okay, yeah, I got to go one ahead. Rand decides to spurg out after this. Moron calms her down, and the scene ends with Rand saying, "Just don't submit to the power." I like the books better. Maybe I'm a purist. Maybe I'm a book cloak. Anyways, oh god, it gets fucking worse.
So Aram and Perrin are talking.
Oh, fuck you, Alex. Yes. So I didn't think I could hate her more, but now I do. So thanks, show. Apparently, her backstory wasn't cool enough. You know, just being the daughter of a great captain and deciding to become, a hunter for the horn, had to make it better. This is just, it's a callback to me of the Stag and Lion in Barrelon when they're all having baths, and who says it? Perrin says it. When Matt is trying to explain kind of the raid on the Trollocs and whatever, it's like, don't tell the stories. You always put in new things and try and make it better, but it never does. I think there's a reason now why this show fucking skipped that chapter. They did not want to have that scene where it gets told straight out. You hear a story once, and then you try and retell it, and you try and tell it better, and it always sucks. That's what this is.
I mean, you're 100% right. That's what this is, and that is an accurate summarization. But I don't think that's the reason it wasn't in the show. I think they decided they really wanted just more lesbian tower shit.
Yeah, that might be true.
Sorry.
That might be true. All right, so
the Gribble report is with us. That is sorry. I get excited anytime there's a King of the Hill reference.
Nice. Okay, so they had to make Faile's story a little bit more drama, where they say that Faile's mom wanted her to swear to the shadow, so she ran away and told her brother about it, and then her brother confronted her mom, and then her mom killed her brother. Okay, but all right, sure, fine. Okay, that's drama. And then, before we leave on this, Perrin is like, well, I killed my wife, so top that, bitch.
Yeah, that's a tough one to beat.
That's that scene. All right, now we get the true hero of the show. So Dain is drinking next to Natty's charred husk of a corpse. I like it. Fane shows up, and he's in obviously stolen White Cloak garb. And then Slingvalda is the least suspicious he's ever been in this whole show. Mr. Hey, haven't I seen you twice? Okay, doesn't matter. All right, you're our reinforcements. Okay, cool. Great. Okay, then we get to our musical number. So Tom keeps saying that he doesn't want to get involved with Rand or Matt, probably because Matt is dressing in drag, and that just is off-putting. Somehow he knows Elaine from Morghase's court. So that's Elaine with her tits in the middle of the shot there. He could be just being dumb, or he could be Asmotom, as we've kind of discussed earlier. But apparently everybody in this whole Tanchico bar knows what the daughter heir of Andor looks like, because they're all following her on Instagram. So Elaine gets in trouble, and the best writing of the show ensues, because it's all to set up the musical number. So this is taking inspiration from the Denna plotline from the second book, and it all ends up with, well, if you're a gleeman's apprentice, you should be able to sing. So let's have a song. And then they do the whole Hills of Tanchico with that's a song about tits. And yeah, so all the women in the bar start, gyrating side to side and massaging their tits. It's great.
Of all
it's 2 out of 10. It's 2. One for that tit, one for that tit.
Of all the time killers this show has come up with, this is the best they've managed so far. And some deplorable. I could summarize it for you. Basically, she tries to steal some keys in then one of the girls' channels, and she takes the hit for it. I'm gonna pitch the review video for what is it, episode 5?
We don't care. Natty's like old history now at this point.
Yeah, they burned her alive. It was pretty gruesome.
No, that happened off screen. But okay, let's keep going. So we're back to these chuckle fucks drinking. Nynaeve laments that this horrible city must have made Liandrin who she is, because the cold open of this episode was ambiguous. Right?
Just in case you didn't get it.
They were so she mentions Liandrin, and then this dude basically turns immediately and says, "Oh, did you meet Liandrin? There are ghost stories about this person. And you know what happened not too long ago is they slaughtered everyone at the old Lunout place." Clue number 2. Clue number 2, Alex, right there.
Right?
In case we were too fucking stupid to like go to the Lunout place after the first guy, now we got the second one. Perfect. This is putting Scooby-Doo to shame, honestly. All right. So now we get the unforgivable scene. Just it's the worst. For a number of reasons, but first and foremost, Liandrin says to Tiny Sedai, "I have you shielded." I don't see any weaves. Did Liandrin learn the magic of tying off weaves? Maybe.
Did not need to tie him off if they're a midget? Like, are there different rules?
Oh, dude, I've got a lot of dwarf jokes coming up in like a couple of seconds, but that was a low blow. Low blow. Anyways, turns out that Tiny Sedai is the traitor and has been talking to Ravi. So this is the traitor from the opening. And finally, the Blockage apparently do scheme and plot against each other, and they're only in it for themselves. But they killed her. They killed her, man. This is such a low blow. It's cutting her role short. This certainly didn't live up to my expectations. I was expecting bigger things from her. She didn't even die well, though that would have been a small comfort. And I think this was all so that Liandrin could step out of Tiny Sedai's large shadow. And when you boil it down, I think Liandrin was just dwarfed by Tiny Sedai's awesomeness and her compulsion powers. So, yeah. How many did I get in there? Like 5 or 6?
It was more than that. It was 8 or 9.
All right, perfect.
But, I did find it funny that she just taps this chick like she's fucking Avon Barksdale, and not even the right fucking one.
Oh fuck! Forsake it. Yeah, just as she was growing on you, right, buddy?
Yeah,
she was growing on me. Oh, Max, calm down. Calm down. Chat, fuck, I thought you guys were going to basically start a half hour late, which was only like 13 minutes ago, and go at 1.5 speed. You guys are all liars. You guys know the rule here, right? This is terrible. I only sound sober at 1.5 speed because I've been drinking.
Well, I do want to say it to the chat. Wow, we had 61 people here watching a minute ago. That's quite the showing. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for boosting my ego, you fucks. All right. So, anyways, where am I? I'm lost. Okay, high quality production here. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, okay. Alana gets healed and MaxiPad cries. So Bode and Eldrin are now like super healers with no training. So just as advanced arrow healing is part of the tutorial of like it's part of the magic system, right? You just booted up the game. It's time to kind of learn our powers, and the first thing you learn is how to heal. Well done. It's like they're not even novices or accepted yet, and they're doing what is arguably in the books kind of the most complex weaves that exist, and you only teach to people after they've been kind of fully initiated. So yeah, Alex, do you remember the novice training session from the last season where people have been in the tower for months and the fucking idiot chick is like barely gets the 5 threads of the 1 power correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
That
these
was-
girls, they're just okay. Great.
I loved this. It was just like the most, because we were joking around, like, what are they gonna do to heal Alana? Like, what is the most random thing? I don't think any of us had Matt's sisters all of a sudden develop the ability to heal critical injuries. Like
we did in the last week, where there were
Did we?
articles coming out about this. Yeah, you can discuss this with Steve in a little bit, but yeah, for those that don't know, we're going to raid Steve's stream, which should start after I finish this fucking thing at about an hour and 15 minutes from now. So let's go and say hi to him after that, just so we all know. Sorry for those who are not watching this live and watching this after, like I want you to do. Too late, too bad, so sad. Okay, anyways. So Alana gets healed. Yay, great. Okay, cool. And then we got Perrin and Faile talking. I can't stand it. Perrin makes fun of Aiel for being a hunter for the horn and says, "Oh, well, my friend Matt blew the horn." Okay, cool. Just keeping that out there. She does look like a child. There are definitely some pedo vibes in this. And just like Rand and Egwene, they're having sex in the main floor of the Winespring Inn. So that seems to be a common thing. Great, cool. Just, okay, yeah, pedophile. And then, thankfully, Alana and MaxiPad show up and make fun of them for banging in the open, and they decide to heal Perrin. Terrible scene. Great, whatever. Yeah, okay, let's keep going. So we're back to Min and Nynaeve. They're both drunk idiots. And the encore is happening because, we heard the song once, but now we got to hear it again. And everybody's dancing to it and everybody's doing good. And Min is like shaking her own tits to Tanchico. And she's like doing it hardcore there. She's got some good facial expression going because she ain't got much of tits, but let's do that dance. And everybody's having a good old time. Anyways, they all meet up. They decide to discuss what they've all accomplished from their master plan, which basically just consisted of going out for drinks. And then finally, Nin and Min put Clue 1 and Clue 2 together and say that they should go stake out the Lunat house. And then this dude with abs shows up and says, "Hey, Matt, I really wanted to fuck you, but maybe if that doesn't happen, here's one of those bracelets you were looking for because my dad had it at his shop." And the commentary I've heard so far from show defenders about this interchange has basically been, oh, this is Matt's luck. So Matt's luck about going places at random and finding the things that he needs or wants to advance the plot has now been reduced to Matt finding horny men who want to fuck him to give him the things that he needs in order for maybe he decides to part his butt cheeks and get fucked.
I keep reading, oh, it's Matt's luck. And my response is, well, if this was Matt's luck, what the fuck are we calling Min and Nynaeve?
Anyways, Ispan shows up. Just in case you didn't know, Ispan was confused earlier in the show with this chick. But anyways, we're back to Ispan. And, I've gone too far. She gets murdered. Yeah, okay, whatever. Whatever she was up to, she gets murdered by Moghedien. Thumbs going right into her face and dead. And all the black women seem to be getting killed in the show. Whatever, Rafe. Good job. All right. Now we get a semi-book accurate scene. Moghedien is using compulsion on the Supergirls. They were being underestimating idiots in the books, so I appreciate that. And now they get schooled. I don't mind it. You know what? They turn on a dime, as they should when under compulsion. They start giving Moghedien everything, all the info she wants to know. What they do know, they don't know Rand has gone to the waste, which is book accurate, as well as show accurate. So, all right, good job. But
go ahead.
They end this with giving Moghedien the bracelet, and Moghedien cuts Nynaeve's cheek. And then Moghedien, after doing this, says, "You won't remember a thing about this." And I'm just like, why did you cut her cheek then? Because she's gonna know as soon as like her friend sees her that what the fuck happened, and they're gonna be suspicious about something happened. So, yay. Like, it's uncanny valley at this point. This is, again, we're getting 90% of the way there, but the stuff that they change is just like it takes us out of it, and it's off. And the other thing I have to say is, let's just break this down from a plotting point of view. So Moghedien gets the bracelet that they got, so they don't have that anymore. So what was the point of giving that to them in the first place? And the only points that I can see is it undermines compulsion as a force power or whatever, because it immediately makes the Supergirls suspicious, like not only cut on the cheek, but where'd that thing go? But it makes Matt's interaction with the gay dude earlier who wanted to fuck him and all about the luck. It's like, he didn't need that. You still need to go to the Panarch's palace to find the collar and do the other stuff. Like, so why did this bracelet even happen is my question, plot-wise, for this. Because all it's done is undermine compulsion that Moghedien is doing, and it turned Matt, instead of having luck, into basically being a thirst trap for every gay dude in the city.
Yep. So I will also say in the scene in the book, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong here. Moghedien doesn't get the what did they have, the Terangriel, because basically she doesn't think to ask about it. And in addition, she doesn't really care to capture Elaine and Nynaeve because she knows where they are. She can come get them at any time, and they're not super high value targets. Like Nynaeve isn't, obviously Ta'Veren in the books. So it's easy for her to just, come get her whenever she wants. In this one, Nynaeve being Ta'Veren and like a super high value target, why would Moghedien not just take her now?
Stop asking questions.
Okay.
Sorry. Thanks for giving me the break there. I've been drinking too much. All right. It's good questions, but beyond the remit of the show. So here we see Nynaeve with the scar on her face. Great. Okay. So again, noticed. And let's move on to a terrible scene, because the last one wasn't bad enough. So finally, what I've been bitching about this whole kind of review is Egwene decides to confront Rand with this one. And this is how it starts off. Like, Rand hasn't even been talked to yet, and he's already looking kind of like an abused husband. But anyways, so this is... All right. This is where it's going. I'm just checking my notes here. We complained about this for years now. That why is Rand fucking Lanfear? This destroys his character. He does not do this in the books. He's actually upright and noble, and he wouldn't stoop to this, but he became kind of a banging this older chick for rent kind of man whore in season 2. And we're like, all right, you're butchering his character. The reason why he did it is so that Egwene can berate him in this scene. So this show loves nothing more than taking the male characters of this whole series, having them act stupid, having them act in ignoble and stupid ways, just so that they can get dressed down. This is Swan dressing down Matt in the last episode, or a couple episodes ago, times 1,000. It's like, now Egwene has a reason to dump Rand. You're a you slept with her, you love her, you betrayed me kind of shit. This is where it all fucking goes. And it's just like it lands like a wet fart with me because we were complaining about this first and now Egwene is finally caught up to it. And now we see, oh, the only reason he was acting like it in the first place is that you can give a fucking girl boss moment to Egwene. Don't care about her, don't like her, don't care about him. All of this, yes, it was stupid. We knew it was stupid. We called it stupid from the fucking outset. So yeah. Thanks, Calendar. We do fucking hate this show. All right.
Yeah.
So now, go ahead.
This sequence, Rand hit back at her with something, and I was shocked to see they let him respond.
No, you're preempting my next point in this, Alex. I'm just getting the script up here, so I'll be able to act this out, even though you guys don't want me to, but I'll do it. So Rand basically says, all right. So first Egwene says, do you love her? It's already happened then. The madness. And Rand replies, that's easier for you to swallow instead of my dick. Then believe that. We know the truth, Egwene. You don't want me. Even back in the Two Rivers, there was something that you wanted more. And even now, I am the Dragon Reborn. I'm not enough. The whole time Rand is saying that, I'm like, yes, tell her. Tell her that, yes, it's your fucking fault. I was never enough for you. I even became the fucking chosen one, savior of the universe, but you didn't want that. You wanted power for yourself. You could not be with me as that because you wanted more. If anything, you're jealous of me being the chosen one and it's not yourself. So that would have been kind of the best line at this point. I'm not enough because you actually want to be me. You want to be more important than me. All this stuff. But instead, the next line he says is, I'll always respect that. Motherfucker. This guy is the biggest simp in the history of simping ever. I was floored when I saw that. I thought maybe we have a good scene, and instead we got a catastrophe of a fucking scene. I was being generous that this was a 2 out of 10. Like Elaine's left tit and right tit and singing about it is probably not enough to lift it up to a 2.
See, I didn't hate this scene. Like this was more fight than Rand has given so far.
Like, yeah, but it's fight and build up to the ultimate simping. So it's like everything that came before it is that like, yeah, it's that. Thanks, Amber. He does blow it with the final line.
Yep.
She's a power hoe in the book. She's a power hoe in the series. And the only difference is everybody simps for her in the show and fewer people do in the books. But all right, whatever. Okay. It is book accurate first character. Thanks, John Thomas. All right. But then just in time, like, so we can avoid any moments of reflection, a big blast comes out. We're getting near the end of this. I think I'm speed running through this.
This episode was not long. Like, I'll be honest, when I started cutting the scenes, you know, the first like 10 scenes are all like 30 seconds. I'm sitting here like, oh, Jesus, we're going to have another 80 scene episode. And then I started writing the script, and my script is like 4.5 pages rather than the usual 7.5. And I'm like, what did we accomplish this episode?
Oh, nothing fucking happened. So we had a long musical number that we had to do twice.
Yep.
If not 3 times. So anyway, Samael shows up. He's got the bone armor. I think we saw his image in the still. So maybe this is it for Samael. I don't know, don't care, but whatever. Basically says like you've always been a pussy, Lewis Theron, and then he shows up and he attacks with his Dark Souls hammer. So yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, he took a free shot. Neither Egwene nor Rand blocked it, and all it did was knock him backwards.
Not the biggest problem with this. So Rand gets blasted back. Egwene gets blasted, but she's the first step to fight back against Samael and the dark shaded Aiel, whatever. Avienda, who is never channeled in the show, shows up, and then we get this brilliant scene where people are kind of speculating, does she have Kalendor in one hand? No, it was just shitty CGI. I said that from the outset. We should have kind of assumed that from the outset. Anything like CGI wise, they're not that clever. Maybe they already built the Kalendor model for CGI for like a later season that'll never show up. But
it's a clear sword so that the person doing the CGI knows where to put the effects. Also, I think they're supposed to be spears.
They
spears. Look like swords.
Well, in the show and in CGI, they are.
Yeah, but
the spearheads are like this fucking long, and like, yeah,
and they didn't put the fire on the haft, so all you see is the only thing that's on fire is from her hand up, so it looks exactly like a sword. So everybody's like, why is Avienda using fire swords? And you're just like, no, it's just bad CGI. This can't do anything right.
Don't read into any of the CGI in the show. Don't read anything into the show. I remember from the fucking season 1 trailer where you had the shot of Steppen kissing the ring and putting it, and everyone was like, that must be Louis Theron from the prologue. I'm like, no, it's not. Let's take whatever your thought is, imagine it, and then like cut it down 7 steps, and you won't even be close to how bad it is. Like it's just awful. Anyways, so not Kalendor, thank goodness. It's just Avienda, who'd never channeled before, now has 2 fucking flame spears and kills one of the Forsaken. Well done, show. Yeah, right there. Speared right through the gut. You know, maybe he comes back in a later episode, but maybe that's a flashback. We don't know. Maybe he gets resurrected. I'm gonna have to check this actor's bio, see how many episodes he's in. But
he's in episode 8. No, he's not dead.
He's not dead. I think we saw his dusted off corpse, but I don't know how he's not dead. Right,
dusted off unconscious body
with holes in it. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So Rand gets up in the fight, has his sphincter shield out. Then he casts lightning like Samaila's Hal Goad. But oh no. The drama here at the end, after all the dust settles and the gamma is upped on every single one of these dark shots, it turns out that he killed a little Dutch girl. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
He killed Elsera, who everyone loved and was everyone's favorite character. So we get the dead child scene from the Stone of Tyr. And the only thing I can say about this is Joshua knows how to act. He's the one who's fucking trying in the show. I think Rosamund Pike at this point, given on her word count and her attitude about, she's fucking mailed it in. She probably saw at season 2 that she wasn't able to grow the audience, that this was fucking done, and she was contractually obligated to do season 3, so she did, and just mailed it in. Didn't fucking care. Get my son a role in one of the Ruidian flashbacks and whatever. Put my house on listings and see if I can move out and find a different show to kind of go with. Joshua's the only one who's basically putting in effort this season.
It is wild. He's trying. And I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, you got cast as the main character in the 4th biggest fucking fantasy series of all time for the television adaptation, and it turned into this fucking shit.
So I'm with Alexander here, and a couple of the people in the chat. I wanted this to be horrifying. Like, I wanted to see a badly reanimated skeleton Alessa turning to like Ravin and like, you know, kind of like walking towards him, like stumbling as Rand tries to reanimate her. And then Lan just saying like, dude, you gotta not do this. You need to knock it off.
Here's a fun question for you, Alex. How many words did Lan speak in this episode?
I don't think Lan spoke at all.
He didn't speak at all. was on screen for plenty or some, but zero spoken words.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, Grok confirmed. I saving that for the end, but yeah. No, it could have been weird. All right, Amber. Yes, none of the actors are. Some are doing a bad job. I think Moron is doing a bad job in this season.
Yeah, Rosamund Pike's phoned it in. Perrin is just not a good actor in general.
Maxi Pad is not a good actor in general. He's trying so hard, but we can kind of tell. Some of the performances, it's more like the decision of like, why was this person cast as this? Like, but that's been a running thing. Like, all right, some of them are trying. The writing is so bad. If it's halfway passable in any given line of dialogue, it might be because they're trying. But anyways, we're getting towards the end. I can't believe we're fucking speed running this. We're barely over an hour. So we cut to the two rivers. And if you remember from the books, it was Perrin who was in the Wolf Dream that discovered that shit was happening down at the Waygate. Here, inexplicably, for some fucking reason, it's these chuckle fucks who are made it all the way to the Waygate without any problems whatsoever, so that they could see that, oh my goodness, there's a shit ton of Trollocs coming through the Waygates. Oh God, oh no. And then this one says, so Golden Eyes will have to lead his people to war. End the episode. So I've gone through it. I did a speed run. Good on me. Yay. We've got plenty of time. We don't have to raid Steve's stream because that's still up in like 55 minutes. But we're going to end on my chart here of relative word count by character. I do have the totals behind. Alex has got the Excel. Maybe you're going to talk about this more in depth with Steve later. But first impressions, when you look at this chart in the top 35, 40 speakers, what strikes out at you?
So, like, this is better than what this chart has looked like the last two seasons.
Oh yeah, there's a man on top.
Yes. However, I think it's crazy. When you look at what Matt has said, it's because he talks like a fucking spastic chihuahua.
Yes, that's probably half of his lines is saying the same word over and over and over. So instead of saying wait, he'll say wait. And the source that we have to give him all the lines gives us 16 waits instead of just one wait. That's mostly of what Matt is there.
Yep. Elaine talks a lot. Like, she's like, you could take basically all of Moraine's exposition lines and just now Elaine is saying them.
They've kind of done a bit of a swap. Rand, we should note, this does actually not include any of his Ruidian visions. We cut those out as separate people, and you see Lewin as the top speaker, kind of at the bottom of that. Otherwise, Rand would actually be the most speaking character in this season, which is by itself a shock for this fucking show. I can't get over the fact that Morghese has just recently been passed by Liandrin, and Morghese only had one episode.
Yeah, she went on in that speech.
And how? But what's also still good, or maybe it's a little bit lamenting, is the Sail Mistress, who was not even a named character from that last episode, still has more words than Tiny Sedai. And Tiny Sedai she'll never get above that. She's done. She's done for. She's a goner. Her life was cut short.
She hit the high water mark.
She is 2 feet under. Oh God.
I guess what is one, like, Swan is a tough one because she's only in what, 5 episodes this season. 4 episodes.
No, 3.
She's 1, 2, 5, and 8, I think.
No, look at. She's only in 3. She was not in the
Yes,
3rd episode.
1,
She was in
2,
1,
5, and 8.
Well, I don't know what she says in 8 yet, Alex, for fuck's sake.
All right. Mule makes an excellent point here. Or
Not
maybe
50-50. Not a 50-50 chance.
Maybe
we'll get a Tiny Sedai flashback. I can hope, but I don't think so. I think she's done for.
Well, maybe Matt's sisters will heal her.
How? She's too far away.
I mean, how did they heal Alana?
They were right next to her. That's how.
Well, I mean, there's waygates. There's all sorts of possible opportunities.
No. Death is final in this show. Don't you know, Alex? There's no fake out deaths in Wheel of Prime.
John Thomas correctly identifies that Perrin looks like a young Ice Cube.
Good God.
I love that his fro gets bigger every season.
Gets bigger with every fucking episode, being all honest. All right. Alex, thanks for coming out, bud. We're going to give you a good 45 minutes or whatever to prep for your stream with Steve. Chat, I apologize. I did not read anything except for what Alex put up on the screen. But you guys know the drill. At this point, you should not be watching this live. You should be watching it kind of on a rewatch and going at 1.5 speed so I don't sound like a complete idiot, even though I am. This episode, I think what we take away from it is what do we take away? We learn not to do it again?
No, I mean that we now waste 55 minutes of every episode until we can get to the big event. In this case, it was the Samael fight. I'm trying to think.
So Egwene decides not to, advance the plot until she needs it. Matt, Nynaeve, Elaine, Min, and Tom now, they all decide to basically go drinking and stuff works out. We get a couple aped book scenes, but it's Uncanny Valley. Rand cares the most about the made-up Ruark granddaughter. It's just like, don't care. Don't care. All right, filler episode. What it could have been. Don't care. It's we've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. The show's getting canceled. No one gives a shit. It's I'm kind of lost for saying. I don't know what we have to look forward to.
We've got a mule meme, everybody. Who I give him credit.
God.
He's the only one that makes memes for this show.
Now.
Yep. You guys can read it.
Yeah. We're on a top secret mission hunting the Black Aja. Hey everyone, I'm the daughter heir of Andor, and then he shakes her tip. Yeah,
I was gonna say, Mule, the only comment I would make here is I would just add at the bottom word panel, who wants to see my tits? Like
me. All right, I guess that was this episode. This was
it's
not
short.
The worst.
I don't know why.
I got through it pretty fast. I think we're kind of at a bit of a loss. Guys, everyone watching, I'm kind of sorry that this hasn't been more entertaining, but was it more entertaining than the show? Probably. That's good territory.
I think we're doing well. If anybody is bored, my episode 5 review just hit the channel a couple hours ago. Maybe go check that out. Argue about Rings of Power in the comments if you wouldn't mind. Actually, no, tariffs. Tariffs are the big topic today, right?
No, not really.
No?
Only among us Canadians. No one cares. The only last thing I would say is forgot. Walk in the Light. The show sucks. this proves it. Meh.
Peace out, bitches.
Play outro and end stream.
The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. In one age, called the Third Age by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose in the mountains of mist. The wind was not the beginning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the wheel of time. But it was a beginning.